High school football week number 10, another Bull Run District matchup we take a look at as the Clarke County Eagles face Luray. And last week, Clarke County with a very intense, very exciting matchup against the Strasburg Rams, defeating Strasburg 7-6. Now joining me, the head coach of the Clarke County Eagles, Casey Childs. And Coach, I got to ask you, if I were to just come up to you randomly and be like, what is the definition of bull run football? Would you just allude back to this game?
Yeah, well, I mean, bull run football is, it's phone booth football. You're trying to beat each other up. It's not the world of spread, and if you can't condition your kids to be able to stand at the line of scrimmage and get after it, you're probably going to be in trouble in the bull run. So, but yeah, I mean, Friday night was the epitome of it. Just two teams that were just going at it for four quarters, and it was just from an electric atmosphere to just an unbelievable high school football game.
What are some takeaways that you can take away from a low scoring 7-6 game? Obviously, I would imagine a lot of defense involved, offensively trying to get points on the board, but only 7 for Clarke and 6 for Strasburg.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we had some opportunities. We had some opportunities. One, we threw an interception down on their about 20-yard line, and then we actually got stopped on a fourth and goal play. So we had two other chances to score and just did not take advantage of the opportunity that we were presented. And, they're huge. I mean, they are very big up front. And so we struggled to move to get some stuff at the line of scrimmage. And to be honest with you, we had some mental mistakes that we typically haven't made. But this were early in the first half. Second half, we were actually starting to try to get a little bit of some tread in our way. And then defensively, the first series, they went 97 yards, I think, on 22 plays on us. And it was a slow, methodical drive, and their kids they did a good job. And, we were able to make some minor adjustments into our scheme. And then our kids from that point on, I thought we were lights out on defense from the second, third, and fourth quarter. We were able to get a lot of stops. And then we were able to flip the field position too. I thought Connor Dennison did a tremendous job pinning them deep twice on punts. So it was really truly, all three phases. And I know that's the old cliche, but it really took all three phases. Offense stepped up when they needed to. Defense was really, really solid, and the special teams did a tremendous job. And of course, Drake, nailing that extra point with 5 minutes ago in the game. So it took all three phases, but it was a heck of a football game.
Obviously, Strasburg striking first in the game, a low scoring affair like that, in your defense stepping up like that. How pleased are you with the performance of your defense after going down 6-0? I mean, the game's in reach. It's not like it's out of hand, but still just to see them persevere through that, and you all end up getting a score and an extra point to take the lead and eventually get the win.
Well, it just shows you the mental toughness of our kids. I mean, they went, like I said, on a 22-play drive, and they ate up probably 9.5 to 10 minutes of the first quarter, and then 2.5 minutes of the second quarter. So it was about almost a 12 play or a 12-minute drive, and that could have really broke some of the kids' spirits. But the yards weren't coming easy. We had them a couple times on third and long, and even fourth one time. And they went for it and got it, but they weren't. They just weren't getting huge plays. So we knew that, and we started making some adjustments during that drive. And when the kids came off the field, we were able to talk to them and tell them that we were on the right path. Next possession, we get our legs underneath us, and we were able to do that. So we've got great senior leadership, and we've got we got some good football players as well, and they stepped up, and I thought our coaching staff did a tremendous job throughout the game. And when you're getting in one of those games too, not that you're scared to make mistakes offensively, but you really don't want to have a big one, and you are trying to play the field position as much as possible because both teams were struggling to move the football, and both teams had some penalties too. That both teams would get a little something going, then it was a penalty, but they were legitimate penalties. Some, our guys and their guys were playing so hard that some of that stuff does happen. And but overall, just getting back to your question, I could be more proud of our kids. It was just it's what high school football is all about.
Drake Barton nailing the extra point, as you mentioned earlier, with a little more than 5 minutes left in the game. Confidence in your kicker must be huge. What is that like to have Drake as your kicker and having confidence that he can go out and make a crucial special teams play for you when needed?
Well, I mean, he's also a tremendous soccer goalie on our team, and we've got a tremendous soccer program. So, he's been in some big games at some high levels in the soccer realm. And when we talked him into coming out this year as a sophomore, he just has that really kind of like just laid back personality that you don't think stuff gets to him too much. But I mean, I know he was 100% nervous. I talked to him after the game and then of course we scored the touchdown, and then Strasburg jumped offside, so he actually had to wait a little longer to kick the extra point. So he was able to regather his thoughts, and I mean he nailed it too. It probably would have been good from 40 plus, and it was right down the center of the pipe. So and then he came down, and the very next kickoff we asked him to put it in a certain spot, and he had it within like the 7 or 8 yard line in the far right hand corner, and and Lincoln Booker came down and made a tremendous tackle and had him at like the 12, maybe 13 yard line. So it was just, he had back to back, just tremendous plays for us.
Getting to Luray in just a second, but last sort of play Strasburg had, the ball batted up. Carson Shin comes down with the interception. Just take me through how huge that play was just to see one of your seniors, Carson Shin, get that interception to seal the deal for Clarke County.
Well, that drive, you're talking, we were kind of in a soft zone for most of that drive. And then we started tightening up the coverage once they got around the 50-yard line. We were trying not to get the big play up. And then we were able, they started doing a couple of little spread formations out of their dead tee, and they were going a little, two receiver set, and they called timeout. And then we called timeout immediately after that once they lined up, and we were able to set our defense up pretty good. And then Joseph Stem got a great pass rush, and he put his hands up. And it was a quick, 3-step drop by, the Strasburg quarterback, and Stem jumped and it didn't hit his hand. I think it helped the side of his face mask, but he was in the right spot, and the ball flew in the air. And I'm not gonna lie to you, the ball went so high that, I think you could have heard a pin drop in the stadium because you just waited for somebody to catch it. And I'll be honest, and I think I told the reporters on Friday that all I saw was, Will Weedo, one of our linebackers. I could just see him, and I could tell he couldn't find where the ball was. So I really never saw Carson. And then I saw, number 11 come flying out of nowhere, and, catch it and dive forward, and just the sheer watching our kids, sheer excitement, and in the stands, and man, it was the train horns going off, and of course us as coaches were excited. It was just a really good feeling that all the work and the prep that our kids and our staff did, that it cultivated and culminated into that big huge win for us.
Into this Friday, another home matchup versus Luray. Sort of take me through the momentum that is built from this last game against Strasburg, taking it into Luray, and sort of what you're seeing out of Luray that you want to sort of stop them from doing and make Clarke County a little bit better come Friday night.
Well, I mean, they've changed how what offense they're running. They're really running like a double tight, and it looks kind of like a single wing, and what they're trying to do now. And so it's different than what we had saw earlier in the year. So it's going to be another game where we have to win the line of scrimmage. There's just no get around it, because we could not let them grind out first downs. And it's senior night for us. And so we've got a great group of seniors with great leadership. And like I told them immediately after the game, the Strasburg win doesn't mean a whole lot if we go out and don't perform what we're capable of performing this Friday. So we know we've got to bring a really good product out there on Friday. We've got to have a great week of prep and practice, but we've got to win a line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and we've got to play with the same amount of excitement that we had Friday, because obviously we're still playing for the Bull Run District Championship. We did a good job of putting ourselves in that spot Friday night, but we've got to finish the deal, and that's what the selling point is all week.
Once again, Clarke County hosts Luray after a big win against Strasburg last Friday. As always, joining me, the head coach of the Clarke County Eagles, Casey Childs. Coach, as always, really appreciate your time, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.